The first woman to lead the New York Times is out this morning. Jill Abramson was fired Wednesday after less than 3 years as executive editor. Times publisher and chairman Arthur Sulzberger Jr. says there was, quote, an issue with management in the newsroom. But a new report suggests other factors, including an equal pay dispute, were involved. Ken Auletta broke the story. He's a media writer for the New Yorker magazine. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is a big story that may ricochet. Why was Jill Abramson dismissed?
I think it was several factors came together, as you suggest in your intro. Clearly, he was unhappy. When he hired her 2.5 years ago, he basically said, the reason I hesitated, I was worried about her management style. He became convinced that her management style was rough. Women, on the other hand, come back and say, yeah, you would say a man was tough, and you're saying a woman is pushy. And you pick. Second, which fed into that narrative he had, she found out that she was paid less than her predecessor was, both as managing editor when she was managing editor and when she was executive editor. And she went and raised that issue and then hired a lawyer to politely ask about that issue. That fed into the narrative she was pushy.
How much less was she paid?
I'm going to actually write something more about that.
So there's more reporting
later.
To be done on
Correct.
that.
The Times has pushed back on this, though, Ken, saying her pay was comparable to her predecessor's, Bill Keller.
Not the same, but comparable. But we'll see how comparable it was.
Wow.
And is there more, do you think, Ken, to the equal pay issue? Because there are reports that she was divisive, that she was controversial, that she was, as you said, pushy, that she had hired a consultant to help with her
Pushy is a male term, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. That she had hired a management consultant to work with her.
A coach. There were other issues. She wasn't just fired, clearly, because the pay disparity issue. That fed into a narrative that she was difficult to work with. And then Dean Baquet, her deputy, found out and was upset that she was trying to hire someone. He felt he wasn't in the loop on that, and he complained to Arthur Sulzberger, the publisher. So that added, again, to this narrative that Jill is difficult. And so last Friday, he went to her and said, time for change.
But can we talk about difficult to work with? I mean, you're a reporter. Have there been other editors of the New York Times who were difficult to work with and hotheads? I mean,
I don't have to answer that. Of course.
Of course.
I mean, what editor isn't? Most editors are difficult. If they tell you we don't like your piece, do it again. You think they're difficult, but they're doing their job.
When she was hired, though, and you reported on this and did a profile on her and talked with the Times, then they knew there were management issues with her, did they not?
Yes, they did. And she thought that she had worked on it, and she was better at being inclusive, involving people, walking the floor, being friendly. And when I was profiling her, she would walk the floor with me and pat people and stop and talk to them. Was that a show for me, or is that the real her? That's
what did the
always
Times say to
question.
you then, Ken, when about those management
Arthur
issues?
Sulzberger, in an interview I did at the time, he said he hesitated in choosing Jill over Dean Baquet because he was worried about that issue. In the end, he thought he had to choose her, and that she's a great journalist, which she is.
Are you hearing from women about the pieces that you've written?
Oh, I've gotten so many emails.
What are they saying to you?
They're saying to me, when I started my job 20 years ago, my pay, I found that was half what the male who had my job before was getting. And
so,
outrage.
Because she leaned in, was she pushed out?
One of the reasons she was pushed out, not the only reason, yes.
All right.
For more to the story, you're saying, Ken's saying, read what I'm going to say later on.
Because you have some new reporting that's coming out.
I do.
You could break it here, just saying. Thank you, Ken
Pleasure
Auletta.
seeing you again.
Yes. And you too. Good to see you too. Ken Auletta, we thank you.